Good morning, October 27th,
Make sure it's bright
UGG
down or
TV.
how's that? Too bright? It looks pretty bright.
We're on air now, Andy.
Okay, all right.
I mean, yeah, you can turn it down. Turn it down. Go ahead, turn it down. I thought it kind of looked bright anyway. You just don't want to be in the bright light. Bright light. There you go. Let's take a look at it now. There you go.
Yeah,
Now you
much
look
better.
good. There you go.
Much better.
I wonder who turned that up.
Huh?
I wonder who turned that up, the bright light up. Anyway, hey, if you notice, the things are looking like it's getting better, but in fact, they're talking about these new GDP numbers that show an economic turnaround. Of course, they're going to do that right at the midterms, but don't be fooled because it's not real. In fact, the government's official scorecard shows a rebound in economic growth during the last summer and early fall. And analysts, though, say that it overstates the strength of the United States economy, overstates it. In other words, it's false. It's not real. Just as earlier figures painted an exaggerated picture of weakness. And there was a report from the Commerce Department. It was released yesterday or on Thursday, and it shows that the nation's gross domestic product grew at an annual rate of 2.6%, which is today, is what they're showing. In July, August, and September. And that's contrast to the first 6 months of the year with the GDP figures showing the economy was actually shrinking. So the apparent improvement, however, is largely the result of fluctuations in things like international trade, which don't reflect the underlying health of the economy. So you may hear that the economy is booming back, but you'll still see that your inflation and your groceries and everything else is still going upwards. So don't believe these lies. Look, the only people that are benefiting from this right now are the ones like Pelosi's and the ones that know exactly what the stock market is going to do. And so what they're doing is they're enticing the market, and it's almost like a pump and dump. What they do is they entice you to stay in the market just as long as you possibly can, and then when they're ready to pull the rug from underneath you, like we were talking about, when they pull that rug from underneath you, you're caught with nothing. Yeah, they walk away. They walk away with a
Big old smile.
Yeah, big old smile. Everything's great. GDP is great. Inflation's going down. We're the best in the world. We're the best in the world, maybe, but let me tell you something. These other countries are suffering because of our country destroying them by rallying the dollar high. But the dollar is starting to break down. It's actually starting to break down a little bit. And let me tell you something. If you take a step back and you look at the GDP, it's gone effectively nowhere over the last year. And that's what Mark Zondi says, who is a chief economist at Moody's Analytics. He said 1 quarter or two, it's down a bit. This quarter, it's up a bit. But net, we're kind of treading water. You guys want to say something about that?
Yeah.
Oh, look at Rob. Rob got a haircut.
Yeah.
High and tight.
I'm prepared for war.
I was going to say, you look like you're ready to go. We might just do it. I've got some news about that. My God, Russia's now threatened to take out our satellites. We're going to talk about that here after this. But go ahead, Rob.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that just look at all the factors globally, right? Put aside this 2.6% increase in GDP. You have global currencies all around us collapsing. You have a sovereign debt crisis ahead of us here in the U.S. And, you were talking about how strong the dollar's been. Well, if you look at over the past year, the dollar's up, 17.9%? What does that tell you that risk assets are doing? Yeah, they're crumbling, right, against the dollar. But, bottom line is this. It's all fake news because we're headed towards the elections, right, midterm elections. So just keep in mind, prepare yourself, because when the debt markets do implode, It's going to trickle right over to the stock market. And like you said, they're going to pull the rug from underneath Americans. And the money that you're putting into the market right now is just going to end up becoming exit liquidity for institutional investors.
Exactly. I mean, look, all we have to do is just look at what's going outside our window. Just open up your window and look outside it. I mean, you got Russia now bombing the hell out of Ukraine again, and Ukraine is literally screaming and asking for air defense. Yet now Russia, Putin, is talking about if we interfere, that they could take out our U.S. satellites.
Everybody's out of
I wouldn't even be able to talk to you without it. I mean, we would all be out of commission. Your grocery stores, and speaking of that, there's getting ready to be a problem with that as well. Because right now, from what I hear, railroads look like they're about to go back on strike again. I don't know if you all have heard this, but, you know, the economy is doing so great, and you got all these companies that are literally losing billions of dollars, including the good old Facebook people. I mean, come on, let's talk about them for a minute. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, the one that literally helped, you know, who cheat, who did a lot of things wrong. And now, you know, I've always said karma will get your ass. And it looks like karma's going to get Zuckerberg. He is down almost 80% in their stocks right now. Go ahead.
I want to say let's be real, right? If Facebook goes out of business, if their stock continues to plummet,
has been company, I say.
It doesn't affect Mark Zuckerberg. He's already a multi-billionaire. So it doesn't affect him whatsoever. What it does affect,
no, that's not true. He's only a Rob. No. He's only a billionaire on paper. He doesn't have that kind of money in the bank. No, it's
all shares.
Oh yeah. No, listen, Rob. Look what's happening to Kanye West right now. Kanye West is becoming broke. No, listen, he walked into Skechers yesterday with his posse. Kanye, you need to get help, brother.
Kanye walked into Skechers?
He walked into Skechers thinking that now keep in mind, Skechers owners.
Isn't that a step down for him?
Well, they're Jewish.
Okay,
they're Jewish.
okay.
These guys are Jewish.
Shalom.
Shalom. And he walks in to Skechers without an appointment. It was so sad. I didn't see it, but I was talking to people that were there and saw it. And from what I understand, they literally escorted him and his posse out of the building, told him not to come back. So Kanye looks like he's going to be a broke man. You know, that $50 million beach home that he bought, all that, that's getting ready to go bye-bye. You cannot, listen, so much is happening right now around the world. And I said this a year ago. I said, you watch, billionaires are going to become millionaires. And then these millionaires are going to become like you and I. You know, it's going to be just like normal people. And it's all showing. I mean, look at Meta. Meta plunges to double digits, and Wall Street is fearing it and facing it because NASDAQ is just being destroyed right now while the Dow is being falsely pumped. And the NASDAQ, it's crazy. Be careful. That's all I can tell you. Be careful, be careful. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, we're all human, and nobody's free from the natural laws of life, the spiritual laws of life. There's an old saying, pride cometh before fall.
Kumbaya, my Lord.
No, it's really true. We talk about wealth.
No, it's true.
But the ultimate wealth is really, to be honest, the ultimate wealth is connection to God, to spirit. That's really where you have your real power from. And money comes, money goes. And we want to do our best to maximize our resources and protect ourselves. But it just goes to show you, people think they're all powerful. You know, Zuckerberg, he tried to interfere in the election. He did. He basically spent $500 million with all of these phony drop boxes and all these things to help Democrats cheat. And
you know, you want to talk about you want
Yeah.
to talk about cheating. All right, I got to share this with you. This is, you know, I got to share this. So yesterday, after I'm getting done at the gym and I'm headed home, I get this like text. But see, I've been getting these texts, and I just would like to, you know, keep communicate this with y'all. So it says, "This is Al with the Caruso campaign. You haven't submitted your ballot yet." Well, how the hell do you know I haven't submitted my ballot? That's what I want to know. How do you MFers know I didn't submit my ballot? This sounds like something Karen Bass is up to, or some other Democrat, or, you know, even Caruso's a Democrat, and I'm voting for him. He's an independent. He says he's more.
Democrat.
He says he's an independent Democrat, more or less. But anyway, you haven't submitted your ballot yet. Yeah, and you're right. I'm not going to submit it. I'm going to go stand in line with the other people, and I'm going to do it behind the curtain the old-fashioned way.
Keep going into it.
But anyway, it goes on. It says, "It's important your vote is counted. A campaign rep can come help with your ballot." Like, you're going to come over and you're going to help me with my. I'm an old individual man. I can't get my ballot out. It says, "We can tell you the closest voting location too. Once your vote is in, every campaign will stop calling." Like, how do you know I didn't submit my?
This is that surveillance state we've been talking
This
about.
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're literally.
Now imagine that with you getting a text saying, "Oh, why were you shopping today?"
Yeah. No,
the,
they're literally tracking me. So listen.
Why are you buying that green product?
I get kind of clever, and I'm like, Andy, I get kind of clever, and I'm like, that's because I'm going to vote in person. Now, and I said, I wrote back to him, "I don't trust the voting system. This is why I want to make sure Rick gets my vote." I said, "I've even been campaigning for him on our daily morning show." Awesome. They wrote back, "Awesome." So somebody's reading my text. This isn't automated.
Wow.
This isn't a robot or
It could be AI, though. It could literally be AI. Just intelligence.
You think so?
No, they could.
All right. Well, anyway,
Yeah, 100%. This could definitely be AI. You know,
language programs like
well, it says.
easily do that.
Well, listen. It says, "Awesome. If you would like someone, someone can pick it up from you directly as well." So, you know, it's interesting that their footprints is what they're actually doing. And, you know, after.
No, but now the thing that terrifies me about this is when they start to do that with the digital currency and they have surveillance, you'll get a text saying, "You know what? You bought something. Let's say."
Oh, I already do.
You
Listen.
you had a stomach ache and you bought something.
Listen.
Are you sick? Have you gone to your doc? Maybe you should go to your doctor. You haven't made a health appointment. You need to get this thing, and if you don't do it, we're going to shut down your account.
Well, let me tell you something.
Get this test
Andy,
you're supposed to get.
well,
That's all in the cards.
Let me tell you something else about all this footprint. So Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, all our major credit bureaus, right, reporting agencies, they now have access to your bank accounts. Did you know that?
What?
Oh, yeah. So Experian will know when you make a purchase, and they will know when you have a deposit in your account. Oh, yeah, wait. Check it out. Go check it out. So they'll send you a text saying, you made a purchase, a large purchase of this, or you had a deposit put into your account. So your FICO score now can actually go with your deposits and your payments. Check it out. It's crazy. It's getting that way.
How did you find out about it?
Because I got a message sent to me through Experian. Yeah. They knew when I made they're like, you made a large payment. I'm thinking, oh, wow. The credit bureau knows how much money is going in and how much money is going out.
Listen, that goes to show that this same system that China has, that social
It's
credit
going that
score
way.
system, the U.S. is going to head towards that same route.
Yeah. No, it's all carbon It's all this footprint, this carbon footprint. They're doing this. Look, I'll tell you something.
That's socialism.
That's exactly what it is. Listen, I'll tell you.
Control the way we spend money to manipulate our
It's
behavior.
going that way, right? It's going that way. Listen, after sending out 240,000 unverified ballots, Pennsylvania now warns of delays in them counting midterm votes.
What a surprise. Yeah.
Right?
What does that mean? What does unverified ballots mean? What does that mean?
Well,
exactly?
in other words, they sent out these ballots to these people that aren't even like allowed to vote or unverified
people
to vote.
Who died or moved to other counties.
Whoever,
like
right?
And not ballot.
And I mean,
voters.
come on, man. If that Fetterman wins, he looks like anyway. If that guy wins, and I understand he can't. He had a stroke, and I know people that have had stroke. In fact, I've worked with them in my hypnosis.
Yeah.
I get it, but what he's doing and what he wants to do is terrible for us because he is the 51st vote. It's bad. Listen, let me tell you something. Just one day after 15 Pennsylvania House Republicans sent a letter to the acting Secretary State of Lee Champion demanding to know why 240,000 unverified votes had been mailed out, which according to law must be set aside and not counted for the 2022 general election unless the voter produces an ID, is what the lawmakers wrote. And Champion revealed that there will likely be delays posting the results after the midterm elections.
Surprise.
So, here they are up to it again. And she says it's really important for us to get accurate information about the election process in Pennsylvania. This is what Champion said during a virtual conference where she said it would likely take several days to count and certify the votes.
Why is it, I just want to jump in here real quick. Why is it that Democrats always have a situation where it's going to take a week to count the votes, where it's going to be chaos, all this bullshit of sending out ballots, and it always ends up like this? It should be such a simple process.
Andy,
even in Europe, European countries you have to go in. They don't have all this.
Andy, 20 years ago it wasn't nothing like this. When you did your vote,
truck juice.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of trucks, there was a USPS truck that actually caught on fire, and I guess there were I don't know how many ballots that were lost in that truck, and they'll probably never be found. But USPS, United States Postal Service, interesting. But let me tell you something. Here's what she says. According to Chapman, she says the delays would be attributed to poll workers not being able to pre-canvass or count mail-in ballots prior to Election Day. She also encourages voters to go ahead and send in their ballots, contrary to Republicans' messaging, which urge voters to hold on to their mail-in ballots and turn them into their local board of elections. Well, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm not in Pennsylvania, but and I'm in California. But I'm just doing it because that's the old-fashioned way, and that's the way we've always done it. And, I started doing those mail-in ballots, and it's interesting because last time I did this mail-in ballot for Caruso and others, it was interesting because I got a text back after I mailed in my ballot, and it said that they had received my ballot. So they were just confirming by text that they had received my ballot. So it's interesting. I mean, once you receive it, how do we know that it's not being opened and looked at and all these sort of things? So that's why I just want to go in person like anyone else should actually do and drop it in. In other words, I'm not going to be lazy this time. I'm going to stand in line and do it. you know, we got to be careful. There's a lot of muggers out there. There's a lot of, you name it, out there. So I'm going to be actually standing in line. What are you guys going to do?
I'm gonna do what I always do. I always go in person.
Get your little tag says I voted.
I don't wear that tag, but I'll go in person.
You don't want the medal or the sticker? They don't give medal anymore.
Yeah,
It's
they
all
give a little
stickers.
sticker, and
Economy's gotten cheap.
yeah, I'm gonna go in and do that for what it's worth, because sometimes I just feel like voting is, you have to vote, but I feel like it's pointless.
No. You can't think it's pointless. I mean, come on, man. You got it. You got to get out there and you got to vote, because if you don't vote, I mean, you might think that way. Another person might think that way. And then pretty soon you have a conglomeration of a lot of people that think that way. And
Yeah,
those votes could have been counted.
You're right. We should
Those
vote.
votes can be actually counted.
And there is some hope. I saw in the polls today, Carrie Lake is really looking strong in Arizona.
She's going to win. Look, if that woman does not win, I wish she was my mom. I love Carrie Lake.
She's great.
I mean, come on. She's not only professional to look at. I mean, she looks like she could be the next president of the United States. She plays it so well.
I think her.
I love it.
Once, I don't know if Trump is going to run again, but if Trump is not in the scene, then you're looking at Carrie Lake or Ron DeSantis. They're the two leaders.
I like them both.
I think they're
love
both terrific.
Look,
what a team that would be.
Think about it.
Man.
Oh my God, you heard it. Ron DeSantis and Carrie Lake as our VP would be amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Listen, Ron DeSantis, when we were locked up here in California and couldn't go out and all, Ron DeSantis was up and running. Businesses were doing great. Nobody shut Florida down. Yeah, I was like, I'll never forget. These friends of mine came up and they're like, you guys are all locked down. You can't go to clubs or anything. You go down to Florida, everything is open. Everything is open. I'm like, are you serious? No, you're lying. They're like, no, everything's open. I'm like, holy crap. And DeSantis, come on, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to, and Trump did the same thing. I mean, look, Trump knew what he was doing business-wise. Trump and DeSantis is a businessman himself.
Yeah,
not only a businessman, but
by far, DeSantis is probably way more qualified than Trump. So if it came down to it, I think a majority of individuals who are conservative and Democratic will vote for Ron DeSantis.
I like him. He's younger. I mean, and believe me, I love Trump. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I love Trump, but
it's just DeSantis has a leg up.
And he's getting older. Trump's getting older as well. And I think these politicians that are in their late 70s, 80s, they need to retire.
Cognitive ability.
Yeah, not just cognitive. They just need to retire. Enjoy life. Don't try to run a whole country. And right now, President Trump's got so much shit on him because these Democrats won't leave him alone.
That's funny. It reminds me of the old Don Rickles line. When Don Rickles was roasting Bob Hope, and he said, he said, Bob, it's over for you. Retire. Go to La Costa.
I remember that.
Sit in the spa. Go sit in the spa. Get out.
Sit in the spa.
These guys, you have a point.
True.
They should enjoy life. I know Trump loves golfing and he loves to have a good time.
He's got a beautiful family. He's got a son growing up.
He changed politics forever. He changed what we look for in a politician.
He did.
The model of a politician. If he stepped out now, I would be happy. He did get the vaccine wrong, which was a major, major mistake. And other than that, I think
but come on, Andy.
Job. Yeah.
That vaccine was new to everybody, and you got to remember the people that were his people that were leading him were the Faucis and all these other people that were misleading him.
But he trusted them. He trusted them.
That's what I'm saying. He trusted those guys. That's true. That's true. It was a bad judgment. Yeah.
Now look, now these assholes are now incorporating the COVID vaccination in your annual immunizations for kids 5 months and older. This is fucking crazy.
Wow. Yeah. No, it's nuts out there.
Basically zero
Biden,
risk from
according
COVID.
to Biden,
Zero.
we got to get ready for the next pandemic, he said. The next pandemic. He didn't say COVID. He said we got to get ready for the next pandemic.
What's on the table next?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, but something's getting ready to happen. I mean, look, and we were talking about another thing that we were talking about that's very interesting is we were talking about the trucking and diesel fuel. Well, take trucking and diesel fuel and add on railroad with that, and you got a fucked up country. Let me tell you something. There is a second railroad union votes that right now need to be done to avoid a nationwide strike. So that little Band-Aid that White House went in there and, was talking about, I want to share this with you. So the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen voted down a national agreement, tentative agreement. Remember, that was just a tentative agreement just to stop them from going on strike. That was what the White House did. They kind of went in there and threw their power in there. But you can't, the White House can't, they can't. They just can't. And so they had this tentative agreement that was coordinated between unions and freight rail companies and the Biden administration. And more than now 60%, more than half of these union member ballots, they voted not to ratify, making the BRS, the second rail union, to reject the terms of the deal. And with the highest participation in a vote in the union's history. So a rail strike that could cripple the U.S. supply chain and economy, are you ready for this, folks, can occur as early as November the 19th. Now keep in mind, midterms coming up, this happens, guess who they're going to blame this on? They're going to blame it on the Republicans.
Of course.
Yeah. Isn't Biden already did his thing. He tried.
Biden tried it. He tried it out there like he was some big hero.
Yeah.
And he made this deal, and now I guess the deal is not even done.
It's not done. In fact, the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen is the second union to vote down the tentative agreement between rail unions, freight rail companies, and the Biden administration that was reached on September 15th and critical to avoiding a nationwide rail strike. Remember, we talked about this. We talked about this a month ago and said, look, just because they prevented it, it was just a tentative agreement, and it's not looking like it's solid. Well, now we're coming up to that date of November the 18th, and if this isn't solidified and taken care of before the end of this year, when Christmas comes, Thanksgiving comes, all the holidays are getting ready to come forward, and the railroad strike comes on, and then you have diesel fuel as well. You can't get trucks to the railroad stations. You can't eat nothing. This becomes what? A pandemic.
It'll be a disaster.
It'll be a disaster.
It really will be bad. Yeah.
We're talking about everything. Listen, let me tell you something. This union, which represents over 10,000 rail workers, is one of the last three unions at the bargaining table, and overwhelmingly rejected the deal with 39.23% of members approving and 60.57% not approving. Yep. Yeah. And they say for the first time that I can remember, the BRS members voted not to ratify a national agreement, and with the highest participation rate in the BRS history, said BRS President Michael Baldwin in a statement. I have expressed my disappointment throughout the process and the lack of good faith bargaining on the part of the National Careers Conference Committee, as well as the part of the Presidential Advisory Board. 250 played in denying BRS members the basic right of pay of paid time off of for illness, and the NCCC and the PEB also both failed to recognize the safety sensitive and highly stressful job that these members perform each day to keep the railroad running and the supply chain flowing. So you just said it, Rob. Once they cut off the supply chain,
Everything's done. So, I mean, isn't Biden for union? Like,
yeah,
supposedly he's for union, right?
Yeah.
He's for pleasing union workers.
yeah,
Right. So when he speaks about a potential pandemic, it might not be a virus. It might not.
No,
be
that's what I'm saying. It could be, and Biden says
nationwide food
get ready
shortage,
for
resource
another
shortage.
pandemic.
Hey,
This could.
I don't underestimate these guys to do anything or create any situation or scenario which would enable them to stay in power. That's the name of the game.
Wouldn't that take him out of power?
What?
Why would it keep him in power?
Because with another pandemic, you got lockdowns, you got government control, you have government issuing new edicts and rules, just like before. You can't go here, you can't go there, you can't shop here. This is closed, that's open. You can't eat this, you can't do that. Anything that gives them more power, like that's why technically we're still under an emergency state in California. There's still a state.
Yeah,
of
right. With
emergency.
Newsom.
Even though we haven't had any issue with COVID, I don't know, for 8 months, 10 months, or whatever it's been, they're still keeping emergency powers. I think the federal government, I believe, also still has emergency powers. Why?
Yeah, I think
They
so.
don't
Didn't
wanna
Biden,
give up
didn't
the-
Biden
They
say
don't want to give up
he
anything
extended it
that gives them
to?
power or control.
Yeah, Biden extended the till like November, I think. Or,
Yeah, they extended it. They want to do everything they can to keep all the control, even though they've been a complete failure in every regard, every respect with the whole pandemic. It's their job is to stay in power, and that's the name of the game.
Think about this. I like I said, I don't want to be a scaremonger, but I'm starting to think more and more, and I'm thinking, okay, I get chills thinking about this. You've got diesel, so the trucks aren't running. Well, the trucks won't run anyway if there's no railroad. You got railroad, and then you have a senior Russian official warning that the U.S. commercial satellites and those of the allies could be targets for Russian retaliatory strikes if they become involved in the Ukraine war. That was just stated yesterday actually, well, today for us. So U.S. commercial satellites have already provided imagery of Russian troops and weapon formations and mass grave sites left behind in areas that they occupied. Meanwhile, you got the heaviest of the battles that lies ahead, and I think it's Kherson, as Ukrainian troops are advancing on occupying Russian forces. So, and you've got Ukraine begging the West and in the United States to send them air defense. Well, if they target our satellites along with trucks and trains, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a frightening prospect. Which brings us back to the need to protect yourself, protect your assets. Like Rob is always saying, get your house in order. Prepare yourself. It's up to us to prepare ourselves so we can support our friends, our family, our community. You can be a pillar of strength in difficult times if you have resources, if you have food, if you have guns and ammunition, if you have basic necessities, if you have gold and silver. You're going to be able to be a force for good in the world when everybody else is falling apart and just dropping like flies and out of control and in chaos. You could be a source of strength, and you could do that by getting real assets, by getting tangible assets, taking care of your family, getting your house in order.
Yeah, you know, while people are struggling, especially like in Chicago. Chicago people are really struggling over there. We're talking, I'm from Iowa originally, and I remember we'd go to Chicago, And when I go into Chicago, I would see. I don't want to. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. People lived in little boxes, and it would be like you'd see the screen door, and it was like a slum. And there are nice places in Chicago, but all of Chicago is becoming a slum now. In fact, people are racing to get out of that state, out of that city, even out of that state. The whole state is in a turmoil. But
isn't Lori Lightfoot your favorite mayor?
Oh, I hate her.
That's strong.
I hate her. She's I just hate her. And the reason I hate her is because what she's doing to businesses and to the people over there. And you would think a mayor would want to run their city to where businesses are supporting you, not running from you and running out of your city. And Lori Lightfoot gets paid $216,210 a year as mayor. And now she's going to get a 5% pay hike that would raise the mayor's salary by $10,810 to $227,020. That increase is going to take effect on January 1st, 2024. What the hell gives her the right? I get it. It's inflation. I understand. And you built yourself inflation. But Lori, and you tell that to your people out there that are barely getting by, and you're taking more of their taxpayers' money to pay your salary. Wow. That sounds like the bad biblical days.
Well, the thing, politicians, the thing with them, there's that expression, they fail upward, like Kamala Harris. They do they're a failure at their job, and then they get promoted. Because as long as they're good party, what's that communist word they use for the kleptocrats or whatever they are, as long as they fit in the party
all
line,
of those city people are getting
line,
raises.
They get raises and they move up. Look at Kamala Harris.
They just keep getting more.
Vice president. She's so close to becoming president, and they as long as they're loyal, they're good. They're good party members. They follow the party line. They're good puppets. They get promoted. But Biden is a perfect example of that.
Crazy how that woman is getting paid that kind of money for destroying the city of Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Well, hey, I mean,
like Fetterman.
People are realizing
Totally different story. That guy.
Another.
He's going to destroy the whole country if he doesn't. If we don't get him out of there, I can tell you that right now.
Another amazing.
It's just sick.
Turn of events is, I don't know if you saw this, but in Oregon they have a Republican who's leading for the governor's race in Oregon, of all places. So I think people are starting to really see the effects of year after year after year of these excessively far left policies, and what the actual effect is in people's lives, and we have to kind of swing back.
They want change.
They want change, and they don't want to be extreme right wingers. They just want a safe society where the streets are clean, where people feel reasonably safe in going about their day-to-day lives, and that's not too much to ask.
Okay, so there's some breaking news that just came out. You're gonna fall off your chair when you hear that. So remember we spoke about PayPal, how they had said that they were going to fine you X amount of dollars if you said anything that could be misleading or what have you.
Right.
Misinformation.
$2,500.
So PayPal's policy of charging $2,500 for spreading inaccurate or misleading information has now been reinstated as outlined in their restricted activities under their user agreement. Remember they said that it was a mistake and they got backlash? Well, starting November the 3rd, 2022, PayPal is expanding the existing list of prohibited activities to include the sending, posting, or publication of messages, content, or materials under its acceptable use policy. Violation of this acceptable use policy constitutes a violation of the PayPal user agreement and may subject you to damages including liquidated damages of $2,500 per violation, which may be debited directly from your PayPal accounts as outlined in the user. If I were you people, listen, I'm saying this.
Delete the app.
Delete it.
The app.
Get your money out of that PayPal account. Is Venmo, are they PayPal too? Or go to Venmo, go to some other, if you can't open up a bank account. Why the hell would you use PayPal? Don't worry about it. I don't have no money with you. So I can say whatever I want.
This is a financial app. A financial app that's now regulating.
Unbelievable.
You see how they're regulating your voice?
Take your money.
Yeah.
I'll bet PayPal tomorrow will be one of those companies that will be a has-been company.
I hope so. This is what we've been talking about for a while here, about the surveillance state punishing you for having different views, spreading misinformation.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Wait. How about the misinformation that the COVID vaccines prevent transmission? Are those guys going to be punished?
Yeah.
Is Joe Biden going to be punished for lying, and Fauci? Well, when are they going to jail?
Well, Andy, here's the thing. So PayPal said last time that was a mistake and that shouldn't get out. So what are they doing? Lying under their ass? Listen, PayPal stated, this is what they stated. You may not use PayPal service for activities that involve the sending, posting, or publication of any messages. What does that mean?
Very vague.
It doesn't say what category that's prohibited.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, it does. It goes on.
Okay.
Content or materials that in PayPal's sole discretion are harmful,
That could mean anything.
obscene. But what do they mean by
That's still very vague. That's
what do they
extremely
mean by
vague.
publication of any messages or content?
So if you post any content,
Where?
Media, social media, maybe.
I guess social media, yeah, any social
Well, wait.
media.
It says you may not use the PayPal service for activities that involve the sending, posting, or publication of any message. So does PayPal have like a messaging center or something?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering. Or materials that in PayPal's sole discretion are harmful, obscene, harassing, or objectionable, depict or appear to depict nudity, sexual, or other intimate activities, depict or promote illegal drug use. I agree with those. But depict or promote violence, criminal activity, cruelty, or self-harm, depict, promote, or incite hatred or discrimination of protected groups or any individuals or groups based on protected characteristics, race, religion, gender or gender identity, sexual orientation, etc. F, present a risk to user safety or well-being. G, are fraudulent, promote misinformation, or are unlawful. H, infringe the privacy, intellectual property rights, or other property rights of any party. Or J, is that right, J? Or otherwise unfit publication. You can download the announcement here.
So basically, whatever they can take anything that you do and make it a crime, but they could funnel it into one of those categories any way they want.
Well, what gets me, Andy, is there was a spokesperson that said that the policy went out in error and that the company would not be firing people for misinformation or finding people, right? And that it was out in error, and now they're saying they're reinstating it.
So what you're saying is that
Wow.
Mike Ickes, the governor from New York that had that sex tape or whatever he is, the congressman or whatever you want to call him.
Then he would be fined $2,000, but only if he has a PayPal account.
Only if he has a PayPal account. Yep.
They can't just go and get right.
So these new radical views, like let's say Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez comes out with something radical that they find offensive, and she has PayPal.
Yeah.
$2,500. Let's say myself, if I post something that's leaning towards the right that offends a group of people, I get debited $2,500. How do they know whenever you post something? Do they have surveillance now that, connects directly to your social media site, or like, your Facebook account, your Twitter account, your Instagram account?
I don't know,
how does it work?
I'll tell you one thing. Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter is happening. In fact, banks have now started moving in billions in cash, actually backing Musk's takeover of the far left social media giant, right? And
for what it's worth, I don't trust Elon Musk, right? I don't trust him whatsoever. But this is a good move. This is huge.
Well, it's right now. Banks have started sending in $13 billion in cash, backing Elon Musk's takeover on Twitter. And this is according to people that are familiar with the matter. And this was reported by the Wall Street Journal. You want to say something?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with Rob. I've seen some comments from Musk that make me skeptical about some of the things he's trying to do. But overall, I think of the big tech oligarchs, I think he's the best. When you compare, Zuckerberg or
yeah, I agree.
I don't trust the guy. Fuck him. I don't trust him.
But hey,
who?
But
you don't trust him?
I think Musk has more of he has more of a moral compass in terms of respecting freedom of speech.
Well, he's taken it over by it's actually going into his control on Friday.
Wow.
The reason why I don't trust Elon Musk is, number one, he is a professional NLP, neuro-linguistic programming specialist.
What? I think he's just trying to get my goat now.
Secondly,
I really think that Rob is just trying to.
Hey,
what's wrong with the NLP?
There's nothing wrong with
NLP for a long time,
and I've been studying for the past 3 years. So there's
what's
nothing
wrong
with it. But
you're saying that he's just hypnotizing people and
he is
convincing them?
Exactly. He is taking advantage of the entire world. Like, I don't trust this guy. I don't trust anybody in that kind of position where they have that kind of power.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting.
So, I mean, hey, listen.
Well, let me share. My own opinion. Rob, let me share what he wrote on Thursday morning. He explains now why he purchased Twitter and his plans for the platform. Are you open to want to hear it? You want to hear this? Okay.
Of course. I'm open-minded.
So he opened it up with his tweet. I have a feeling Twitter's about to go off the map. I think it's about to go skyrocketing, and
I think so too. Yeah.
Stock's about to go through the roof.
You think so?
I really think so on that. But
not financial advice.
I'm not giving no financial advice, but we'll see what happens. But it can all be brought down again if the markets go down. So remember, the markets do crash, and that's why you want to give us a call at 800-753-8534, 800-753-8534. Hey, we've got a new video out there. I'll show it to you tomorrow. That is pretty cool. And we put together a really cool video with our team and all. And
play it now?
No, not now. We'll play it tomorrow. We'll have it all synced up and ready to go tomorrow. But here's the letter that Elon wrote. Elon says there has been so much speculation about why I bought Twitter and what I think about advertising. And he says most of it's been wrong. And the reason that I acquired Twitter is because it's important for the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence. There is currently a great danger that social media will splinter into far right wing and far left wing echo chambers that generate more hate and divide our society. Thumbs up to you on that one, Elon, because that's what I've always said.
I agree.
It's like a civil war on social media.
See, that's the idea.
Look at that face.
That's the idea.
Like
of
a bulldog. He ain't happy on that.
You have the freedom to believe and the voice to say whatever the hell you want to say. The other party doesn't have to agree with this. So if you're far left, you're far right, yeah, go fuck yourselves. I don't care, right? Because I have my own. All right,
Rob.
chamber.
Temper down.
But go ahead, continue.
So he says there's currently a great danger that social media will splinter into right and left echo chambers that generate more hate and divide our society. I have to agree with him on that, because the bottom line is, it's like, to me, you guys, it's like a civil war on social media. And let's face it, there's been a lot of people that have been either hurt or killed or destroyed or raped, or there's been a lot of different things that have happened on social media, right? People, I mean, it happens. So, and that's what he's talking about here. And he says, that is why I bought Twitter. I didn't do it to make more money. I did it to try to help humanity, whom I love. And I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuing this goal, despite our best efforts, is a very real possibility. And he says here, he just goes on. This is what he wrote. And that's why I bought Twitter.
He has a great public relations team. I do have to pat him on the back for that. I'm not cynical, right? I'm very optimistic for his game plan for Twitter, but the reality is that you're just giving.
Well, here's what else he said:
a multi-billionaire more control over the voice of Americans. But guess what? You know what? I haven't seen where he's headed towards with Twitter, and it's just the beginning. So, and I'm always on Twitter. That's where I get most of my media from, most of my news from. I think Twitter's a great application, for all ages, right? But I'm looking forward to what he actually does with Twitter, because he could say this right now, but it completely doesn't happen. It's not. It's kind of like what we always talk about. It's not what they say; it's what they do, right? So he could say whatever the hell he wants to say, but let me see what he does.
Well, let me share. He says, in the relentless pursuit of clicks, much of the traditional media has fueled and catered to those polarized extremes, as they believe that is what brings in the money. But in doing so, the opportunity for dialogue is lost. He says, that's why I bought Twitter. I didn't do it because it would be easy. I didn't do it to make more money. I did it to try to help humanity, whom I love. And I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuing this goal, despite our best efforts, is a very real possibility. That said, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequence. In addition to adhering to the laws of the land, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience according to your preferences. Just as you can choose, for example, to see movies or play video games ranging from all ages to mature. I also very much believe that advertising, when done right, can delight, entertain, and inform you. It can show you a service or a product or medical treatment that you never knew existed but is right for you. For this to be true, it's essential to show Twitter users advertising that is as relevant as possible to their needs. Low relevancy ads are spam, but high relevant ads are actual content. Fundamentally, Twitter aspires to be the most respected advertising platform in the world that strengthens your brand and grows your enterprise. To everyone who has partnered with us, I thank you. Let us build something extraordinary together. Wow. I love it.
That's a great statement, I got to say. I mean, he really touched on the very well-crafted statement, really balanced, and
He really did.
I think he's going to improve Twitter, I have to say. I think he's going to make it better. All the crap from Twitter with keeping conservatives, people off there, misinformation about COVID, make it, they shut down doctors.
Yeah, and that's what he's saying.
Highly respected doctors.
And you know what
across
Musk's
the country
views are on COVID,
and shut them down because the government told them they're working with the government to shut down people who went against the narrative. So I think
Yeah,
I think Musk's
didn't he
Twitter
move
is
his
gonna-
shit out of California here? He's moving.
Yeah, he went to Texas.
Yeah, he's in Texas.
Based in Texas now, and
Yeah.
I think he's going to make a major improvement at Twitter. I hope he stays the course. I hope he. It is going to be hard to do that. I think he has a good vision, and I wish him the best. But
I mean, come on,
Rob just has some legitimate concerns when somebody is going to have that much power now. But look, if he can handle that power and do a good job with it.
The Biden administration tried to stop that stuff, from what I heard.
Oh yeah,
they don't want Musk having that kind of power. They were going to do something. They were going to try to do something. And
they want puppets. They want people like Zuckerberg. They want people who are be puppets.
Musk's going to have a lot of power. His company's going to have a lot of power. But he's behind it all. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, we're already there. We're already on it. We're all headed that way. We're on Rumble, Twitter, YouTube. That you'll be seeing our videos. Like I said, we've been putting this together, and it's coming out. I've got another new company that is spurring off. No affiliation to United Gold Group, but it's UGG Studios, where we're actually going to be building content. So we got a lot going on. Hey, 800-753-8534, 800-753-8534, 323-380-5485. One other piece of news I want to talk about, and it's the same thing that Newsom in California did here. So if you're a crackhead and you do crystal meth, if you go through this 12-month step or 12-week program, what was that, 2 months? Almost 3 months? Yeah, 12 weeks. Then you're going to get a card, a gift card, that you can use anywhere to buy more crack. I'm not kidding you. Seattle is proposing this offering of gift cards to meth addicts to encourage sobriety as their drug overdose has surged.
It's exactly what Canada's doing right now. Canada's been doing this for quite some time already.
They have.
Yeah, they have.
I know that there's a lot of them out there doing it, but I didn't know
Canada's been doing this for quite some time. You could go to your local office and get whatever fix you need, but it's just creating more and more addicts, more homelessness, more crime, more violence.
Hey, before we go off the air here, I've been doing these little brain teasers every day, and I really stumped them on that yesterday. I stumped you off.
Got me. I could not think.
So I finally, they were like peeing in their pants, wanting to know what it was yesterday. Andy was stumped, and Andy don't like to get stumped. And Rob too, and the answer was an echo. Echo. Are you ready for the next one?
Yep.
I'm going to have to really mess you up on this one. So I left my campsite, and I hiked south for 3 miles. Then I turned east, and I hiked for 3 miles. I then turned north, and I hiked for 3 miles. At which time I came upon a bear inside my tent eating my food. What color was the bear?
What color was the bear?
What color was the bear? I left my campsite and I hiked south for 3 miles. Then I turned east and I hiked for 3 miles. I then turned north and I hiked for 3 miles. At which time I came upon a bear inside my tent eating all of my food. What color was the bear? Stay tuned. I'll give you the answer tomorrow. It looks like I got them stumped again. Look at these faces. Look like kids got caught in a candy jar or something. They can't figure this shit out.
Wow.
You have any clue?
He's like 9 miles away from
you. But if you had to guess, what color would you color the bear? He's a purple bear. What color would you color? A purple bear?
Say it again.
Andy's trying to figure this. He looks like a teacher. I left my campsite and I hiked south for 3 miles. Then I turned east and I hiked for 3 miles. I then turned north and I hiked for 3 miles. At which time I came upon a bear inside my tent eating all my food. What color was the bear?
White.
Very good, Andy. Why?
Because you're at one of the poles. Because you hiked.
That's right.
Because you went.
Wow.
You went south.
Robert called him a green bear. So now you all know.
You went south.
Wow, I don't even know.
You went south 3 miles. So if you're at the pole.
Wow, he got it.
Yeah, if you're at the pole, then if you would be you shouldn't.
Right, the only place that you can hike 3 miles south, then east for 3 miles,
right.
then the north for 3 miles, and end up back at your starting point is the North Pole.
Right, you end up because otherwise you.
Polar bears are the only bears that live in the North Pole.
Well, Rob was saying wait, you're not even back at your own tent because you went here,
yeah,
here, and here.
Rob was going 9 miles.
But if you're at the pole, right, then you don't have that extra direction. So that's why. Okay. Hey, I got one finally.
Wow, that was really a hard one too.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I thought about it is because it didn't seem right.
I think Andy should be on the presidential committee.
There you go.
I mean, he got.
I'm like, wait a minute, how did you get back to your tent?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, Rob picked that up, and it's like, yeah, okay, you're not back to your tent, so. Then.
All right, I got one more
Okay.
because since he gave that one, now I got to come up with another one.
We gotta come
And this is for tomorrow. So a man is looking at a photograph of someone. Looking at a photograph. His friend asks, "Who is it?" And the man replies, "Brothers and sisters. I have none. But that man's father is my father's son. Who was in the photograph?"
Okay, you gotta say that.
Andy, a man is looking at a photograph of someone.
Okay.
His friend asks, "Who is it?" The man replies, "Brothers and sisters, I have none. But the man's father is my father's son." Who was in the photograph?
The man's father is my father's son. Oh boy, I hate these.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's answer.
Yeah, we gotta clarify that one. Okay, we'll get it.
Guys, now's the best time to be buying gold and silver. Silver prices are getting ready to jump like you would not believe. Everybody can afford some silver.
Absolutely.
It's at a very good price right now. We'll help you with whatever amount you want. And those of you that have retirement accounts that need to protect it because markets are going to end up eating everything that you've got in there, diversify. I'm not saying put everything all in one basket. I'm saying diversify. Spread it out so that you have a safety net and have something to fall back onto. Give us a call. I'll give you the number again, 800-753-8534, 800-753-8534, or 323-380-5485. God bless every one of you. See you tomorrow. Peace out.